Happy Tuesday, good people. Welcome to Burn It Down with Cam Brown. This is the safe space where we set oppression ablaze. Of course, Leo season remains. So if things must get burned down from now until August 22nd, well, so be it. So be it. Tis the season to burn shit down. Big up to all the Leos. Happy belated birthday going out to one Afra Sings. Happy big birthday today going out to one Renee Johnston. If we have any other Leos present, please announce yourself and come forth. The spotlight should be shined upon you because it is our season. Our season is quickly coming to an end, everybody. So listen, Leos, again, keep that humility in the closet. There's no time for humility during Leo season. We will not be humble. We will not be modest. We will stunt on these hoes. And we will tell people about themselves if need be. If need be. Anyway, I hope all is well with everybody else. But I'm hoping Afra and Renee are having a fantastic week. Big up to Infinite Content, Leo Bruv in the building. And there's that. So I've got a okay. I would like to lie and say I have a great show. I do not have a great show in store for you today. And the reason I do not, what I have called a great show in store is because I keep knocking my head, my noggin, my five head, as it were, keep knocking this joint up against ableism. It's the weirdest shit. So, not a surprise to any of you all. You all should know this, but I source a lot of my stories on Twitter. Twitter is where the stories reside. You know what I'm saying? Facebook be getting the shit late. TikTok, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck's going on TikTok. But at least with Twitter, and as Jacqueline Luqman said, we are still dead naming Twitter. I'm not calling that shit X. Nigga, there's one X. His name was Earl Simmons. Okay, there's only one X that we recognize. DM, Dark Man, X. Fuck this, whatever the fuck Elon think he got going. There's only one X we acknowledge, DMX. Okay, we only acknowledging Earl. I'm not calling fucking Twitter X. It's not happening. Twitter, as I said, Twitter is where I source the majority of my stories from, right? I have wonderful lists of independent journalists and media outlets that I follow. I have lists of labor unions. I have list upon list upon list of organizations. I like to wow, way out, you know what I'm saying, everywhere. Oh shit, somebody sent us some money. I logged back into the Cash App. Thank y'all for figuring that out. Derek, you's on my list to shout out too, baby. And I appreciate what you did. There. Thank you, Derek. Thank you so much. You on my shout out list, Derek. Now you get 2 times. Um, Y'all, Twitter has logged me out of my account for reasons unknown, would not let me authenticate my account. I raised this in the disability support chat over the weekend. Everybody was like, everyone who attended the chat are Twitter users and said that they have not experienced this. Will, do me a favor, run the vid. I'm gonna talk to people them true it as best I can. So I don't know what the fuck's going on here. but I played this video in the disability support chat, and this is my I can't really tell what that is. Can you make it bigger? Can anybody tell what that is? Like, can you make that a little larger? So, what we are attempting to look at is a screen grab, a screen recording of when I tried to log into X, and by log in, I simply mean just open the app. And it told me I needed to authenticate my account, but here are the ways I had to authenticate my account. Run it back, Will, so that people can understand what's going on. Take it from the top, Tippy. Yes. Okay. So that's my phone. I just opened X. X is loading. Fuck X. I'm sorry. Twitter. Fake ass. Fake ass Twitter is loading. And it tells me I need to authenticate my account. And the ways it's instructing me to authenticate my account is I need to match the images. Kids, what's Auntie's disability? Explain to Elon Musk how the fuck I'm going to match the images. Now, what I discovered is that there is an audio version. Okay, but again, not exactly obvious. As you see, I'm pushing all of the images, right? I'm pushing all of the images, and fucking dumbass Twitter keeps telling me that's not quite right. Well, no shit. Well, no shit. Why is Elon trying to play picture games with me in the first damn place? I have inputted my cell phone number, my email address. We got all kinds of two-step verification on fucking Twitter. Why are you asking me to match pictures? You fucking piece of shit, Elon Musk, you ableist asshole. You apartheid clad, you union busting bastard. Should shock no one, Elon Musk is also an ableist piece of shit, right? So, I tried going through the audio version today of the authentication, and let me explain how not fun that was. How not fun that was, because it asked me to verify the same audio description information 5 times, 5 times, 5 times, 5 times. And after I finished that process, it still would not allow me in my account. And then when I went to the help center, Twitter support, it says, "Well, if your account has violated Twitter terms, and whoa, if who did what? Me? Talk. I don't even be here. I don't even be on your little funky vanity project, Elon Musk. I don't even be on Twitter. Go to my Twitter account, y'all, at Kim Brown Live. I'm pretty certain it's been a number of weeks since the last time I've actually tweeted. And I'm sure I was complaining about something ableist then, right? But there's no reason for me to be locked out of my Twitter account, right? And this is where my tinfoil hat conspiracies come in. Because no. Am I important? I mean, yes, to my mother, of course. Am I important to the world? That's up for debate. But I do not put it past the alphabet boys, big tech, to do things that will inconvenience me, that will frustrate me, but just to the point of inconvenience and frustration. And maybe even inconvenience and frustration to the point of lack of productivity when it comes to putting together the Burn It Down with Kim Brown show. Because like I said, like Twitter is my source, right? I mean, not my exclusive source. Obviously, I put some shit together, but I have Twitter set up so that I can go directly to the places, to the people, to the orgs, to the unions, to this, to that, to the independent media outlets. I can go right there and find the shit. And now I can't. Now I can't. Intentional? I can't really say. Am I paranoid? Probably. But am I black in America? Have I earned the right to be paranoid? Absolutely. Absolutely. And even though there's not many of y'all here, it's enough of y'all here that them alphabet boys would not hesitate to do something that would what? Frustrate me or annoy me at minimum. Like I'm not big enough that they need to take me out. But if they can frustrate my efforts to put together my show, man, that's nothing. That's little time. That's small potatoes for them feds, right? So anyway, fuck Elon Musk, fuck X. We missed the old Twitter. Shout out to the old Twitter. I never thought in the world I'd ever be shouting out Jack Dorsey. You know what? And I'm not about to, so I'm gonna hold that. But you understand what I'm saying. The old Twitter. I don't know about X. The only X we acknowledge is Darkman X, DMX, and Malcolm X. This fake ass apartheid Clyde X. We don't acknowledge that bullshit. So anyway, y'all. Well, anyway, I appreciate y'all being here. Y'all come and give the video a thumbs up. Damien, I'm not paranoid. I'm not making this up. These niggas is fucking with me. Why? I didn't even do nothing. Besides be a mind my business all-star. That's all you can be in 2023. Just try to mind your business, drink your water, moisturize your skin as you're able. What's up, Fernie Francais? What's going on, Latif? What's going on, Donnie? Can y'all believe these sons of bitches over at Twitter locking me out my account? So what's the resolution? So anyway, I emailed or sent her something into Twitter support and said that they'd get back with me in 5 to 7 days. They said they get back with me in 5 to 7 days. 5 to 7 days. Because apparently there's been a high volume of whatever the fucks. And I'm like, y'all bastards. Holly, what's going on with the situation? I'm so frustrated. CB, what is happening with the situation? How come Tyler, my son, I might need to fly you out. I'm gonna put my son on all this shit because listen, I'm 45. My ability to want to continue to engage with this shit is dwindling in the first place. So I need some young energy. Tyler, ask your parents if you can come out here and push the buttons for your fake mama on the internet. Do me a favor, everybody. Go on and give the video a like and a thumbs up. Wait a minute. There's lots of things going on here. A like, a thumbs up. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please take a moment and consider doing that. I will be acknowledging I did shake off my triflingness for a solid 10 minutes and was able to notate our Cash App, PayPal, and Venmo supporters and our patrons as well. So I'm going to acknowledge that for our fundraiser, which concluded last week. Thank you, everyone that supported both materially and in the free ways. Silberg, what's up? You know, we take the free ways. I love even when y'all just show up and push buttons and listen and talk shit. Like, that's fine with me. I mean, the money helps. but but the fact that y'all show up, good enough. We'll take it. So let me get into this story, y'all. And this is a story within a story within a story within a story because it's amazing the kinds of rights that go away under democratic leadership, right? And in our most recent experiences, we've seen the Roe versus Wade get overturned with the Dobbs decision from the Supreme Court last year. Who was the president when abortion went away? Joe Biden. Who was the president when Voting Rights Act got gutted in the pre-clearance section of the Voting Rights Act, among others, were rendered toothless? That would be Barack Obama was the president when the Supreme Court, the Roberts Court, made its ruling in the Shelby County versus Holder decision of 2013, which basically allowed racist fucking states, i.e., the entire country, to rewrite their voting rules, right? And lots of states took advantage of that decision by the court, by the high court. And they made voting restrictions here. They made voting restrictions there. I mean, did they reinstate the poll taxes? Basically, yes. The literacy test. What else? Did they do the great grandfather? If your great grandfather was a slave, nope, you couldn't. What, there was no bounds on some of the ludicrousness of what these states were passing. And over the weekend, I was hanging out with my mama. And y'all know what mama likes to watch / listen to. Yup, you guessed it, Al Sharpton. so Al Sharpton, right? Reverend Sharpton, basically the liberal voice of the black community, at least from the MSNBC lens. Yeah. Reverend Sharpton still has a very, I guess, thriving civil rights organization. They got a march planned here for August coming up. Don't ask me what day it is. Don't you ask me what they doing. I don't know what they doing or when they doing it. But Albert Sharpton and them going to be down on the National Mall here for something in the coming weeks. So Al Sharpton being, I guess, one of the voices of mainstream Black America, middle class Black America. I don't fucking know. Whatever. Al Sharpton on his MSNBC Politics Nation program was interviewing Vice President Kamala Harris. And I so seldom see either of these folks. So when I'm around MSNBC, I'm like, what is this? I kind of know this, but I don't. Because I can't stomach cable news, y'all. I will be a very angry, bitter, despondent person. I mean, more so than I am regularly, right? I would become a constant curmudge just from having been exposed to prolonged durations of programming from MSNBC and or CNN. So I digress. So I was watching Sharpton interview Cop Mala. First question Sharpton interviews Cop Mala pertains to voting and pertains to the turnout. And as I'm listening to Cop Mala give this answer, whatever look on my face must have presented itself in such that when my mother returned to the room, she said, "Why do you have that look on your face? Why are you looking like that?" And I said, "Because Cop Mala is on here sounding like a blithering idiot. And I'm stunned that this person is a lawyer. This person passed the bar. This person was the attorney general for the entire state of California. Like this person, this ninny, this ninny of ninnies. I want you guys to listen to Cop Mala. And I imagine a lot of you will probably end up feeling the way that I felt when I heard this. But this is such a empty, nothing burger of an answer that is ahistorical and that fails to mention some very critical terms when trying to answer the question about whether or not the Democrats are concerned about voter turnout. Because let's be clear, with all the voter suppression, ding ding, that could be a password phrase that you need to be listening out for. Hint, you're not going to hear the phrase voter suppression in this interview. But whose vote is being targeted and suppressed? You don't hear that either. So anyway, damn it, I didn't gave all away all the spoilers, but this is still worth a listen. So my apologies in advance for 2 minutes of both Cop Mala and Al Sharpton. My bad, y'all. My bad. It had to be done though. Will, cue that up. Let's take a quick listen.
Are you concerned about turnout, especially among blacks in the election? You hear these polls. Are you concerned about that?
I am always concerned about turnout, whatever election we are talking about. Because let us, in a moment where we thank everybody for what they did to turn out in 2020, appreciate that it takes an effort to turn out to vote. People have things to do. They have obligations. If somebody's working 2 or 3 jobs, if they've got a bunch of children and they need to worry about who's going to take care of the kids while they go vote, or people have obligations every day. But the people who, especially the people who have most at stake in the election, are often the people who least have the luxury of taking time out of their day to do something that is not an immediate obligation. So I recognize that. And I recognize that when people make the effort to register to vote, to fill out that ballot, to go to the polls and vote, it is an effort that we should appreciate and be thankful for when they make it. I'm worried about it because I also know that there has been a lot of effort and laws that have been passed to try and make it more difficult for people to vote. I mean, can you imagine, Rav? In the United States of America, we went through all these fights, the March on Washington, John Lewis, all that. And these so-called leaders who are so bold as to unapologetically propose and pass laws to make it more difficult for the American people to vote. The gall. So I do worry that we have to do everything we can to remind people of why it's important and also fight against those people who are trying to make it difficult.
The gall of whites trying to restrict the access to the ballot box by black people and indigenous people. The gall. Rev, can you imagine in America that white people would try to restrict the votes of others? I do declare. Bitch, where are you from? Are you from a different country? Do they do it different in your country, Kamala? Like, are you sound really surprised, like taken aback, like clutching your pearls that in America people's right to vote would somehow be restricted. No, bitch. Black people. When she's talking about, can you imagine they're restricting Americans' right to vote? No, 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 bitch. Black Americans. Let's be very specific here. The whites have never had their access to the ballot box be restricted, not just because they white, but have black people have their shit restricted? Have Latinos, have indigenous people have their shit restricted just because of their racial identity? Absolutely. Absolutely. Kamala now, to her credit, she seemed really sober, but maybe she should start getting high again because her sober answers not more impressive than her inebriated answers. All the answers are completely bad here when it comes to Kamala. But I was just really I was horrifically offended at the way that she just hand waved the March on Washington, John Lewis, and all that. Rev, can we had these fights, the March on Washington, John Lewis, and all that. Is that how we describe decades, generations of black genocide, of lynchings of black people, of the lynchings and targeted murders of our non-black comrades and allies? Like, is that how March on Washington, John Lewis, and all that? Do you know how many people were murdered in the South, in the Midwest, in the Mid-Atlantic, in the North? Like, there's not a corner of this country that has clean hands. Maybe Pennsylvania, maybe. Let me shut up before I get in trouble, before I be talking like a talker. That's what Kalechi say. I don't want to be ahistorical here, but every single state in the union has blood on their hands when it comes to black people trying to access the ballot box, whether it was state violence, vigilante violence, whether or not it was violence that came through in the legislature, whether or not it was the violence that came in the forms of people being denied work, people being denied access to materials to live for the simple fact that they organized or aspired to be voters and participate in this system, right? But Kamala Harris doesn't have any concept of that. Like, that's not even her ministry, And I was thinking about this. I had an opinion, but I'm like, I don't know about that opinion because it kind of smacks of xenophobia, right? Because I'm not no ADOS. You guys know that, I hope, right? Like, I don't get down with ADOS because that shit is mad xenophobic. But when I look at Kamala, when I look at Obama, I'm like, these two specifically were selected, I believe, in part because their lack of Black American heritage. Like, there is a certain ingraining in Black Americans that I don't think exist, or exists. It manifests itself differently in non-Black Americans who come here, right? So Kamala's people, her mother's from India, her father is Jamaican, African Jamaican, right? Obama, we know his dad was from Kenya, his mother wherever she was from. I don't know what the white part of wherever she was from, right? But I mean, when you don't have that Black American lineage, like, you don't have a direct connection to that struggle. Like, Kamala had to read about the struggle. I mean, I know her people were, believe it or not, for y'all who don't know, like, Kamala's parents were actually very leftist and very radical. How the fuck she came out to be a whole tool and agent of the state, I'm sure her parents are very, very disappointed. I'm sure her parents must be tremendously disappointed wherever they are on earth or in the spiritual plane. I hope that they are dealing with her in a way that is commiserate to the harm that she has caused and continues to cause marginalized people around this country. But the Democrats are not ready, everybody. What we have seen, pop up that Brennan Center piece for me, Will. So as we get more news coming out about Trump, right? Trump strengthening in the polls. The more these indictments come down, Trump gets stronger. It should be a very interesting situation. But the reality for many of our folks on the ground is that 2023 continued to be a record year for state legislatures to try to pass restrictive voting laws, right? And to roll back some of the access to the ballot box that was made available during the pandemic, such as dropping off ballots at voting boxes, right? Having early voting start weeks before actual election day. Different techniques and accommodations that really benefited working people, that benefited disabled people. And a lot of these policies are either have been rolled back already in some of the state legislatures, or they are in the works of being rolled back. But what I don't hear coming from the Democrats is a comprehensive state by state strategy to try to beat these laws back. And this is the problem with this whole funky ass, stinky fucking party, right? That somehow thinks that they better than the Klansmen Republicans when the Democrats are just the White Citizens Council members themselves, right? You don't actually want to fight for Black people to vote because you would rather fight for the would be middle, quote, middle voters, middle of the road voters, independent voters, who may have voted for Obama and who may have goofily voted for Trump, because there are some goofy motherfuckers out there like that. There's some Black ones out there too that are goofy as fuck, right? Democrats as an establishment would rather fight for them instead of fighting to make sure their most reliable voting bloc, Black people, show up and have the ability to show up and don't have to die of dehydration waiting in line for 2 hours, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours in line. You would think that the DNC would throw some money behind some localized lawsuits, right, to try to even the shit. But no, they leave it up to the ACLU. They leave it up to this organization, that organization. But instead of actually fighting for its own members and voters, the Democratic National Party sends Cop Mala bum ass out on Al Sharpton, allegedly one of the Black leaders. And what is Al? Does Al Sharpton demand anything from the Biden administration as it pertains to getting some real muscle, even maybe some DOJ muscle, behind challenging some of these voting restrictions? And I suppose the Biden administration just might be like, well, you know, Shelby County versus Holder said that the states don't have to do this. Well, what is being crafted? What are these voting national federal laws? Like what we doing here in the Senate? Anybody? Everybody? Nobody? Like what's going on? It's 2023. It's been a decade since Shelby County. No, we got nothing? Nothing on the federal side, huh? I wanted to bring you guys a story that I found. And whereas it doesn't directly tie into voting, there is a bit of a tie in here to kind of what's going on, to the fact that the National Democratic Party, again, not interested in helping Black people access the ballot box before the election year. No, 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 no. You know, they ready to activate the Black vote, but they not worried about the Black vote being able to get to the ballot unless it ends up in a Democratic loss or a Biden loss. And then they're still not going to blame the Republicans. They're going to blame Cornel West. They're going to blame Dr. West. They're going to blame this one. They're going to blame that one. They're never going to look in the mirror and blame their punk ass selves. The continued abandonment of the Democratic Party, abandoning a good number of their constituents. If Black people show up the most reliably for the Democrats, and a lot of Black people live in the South, why has the South been abandoned, with the exception of Georgia, right? And really, it was Black people that got Georgia together. It wasn't the Democrats that did that. Black women came in and got Georgia together. They might have been Democrats, but they wasn't getting the help from the national apparatus like they could have been getting. They got on the floor, everybody get down on the floor. They got on the floor and did that shit themselves because they some G's. But anyway, I want to go to Tupelo, Mississippi. In 2020, there was an elder there, the Tupelo City Councilwoman. Her name is Nettie Davis. Nettie. Now, Tupelo, I don't know if we have any Tupepolians. No, I don't know if we have any Tupelopolians, and I don't know if that's the correct name for people from Tupelo, Mississippi. But anyway, you got to come in here and tell me what kind of time Miss Davis is on, because she looks like a very friendly, cuddly elder, who probably used to get beat up by white folks back in the day because she was trying to register people to vote, right? But she could be a member of the Black Miss Leadership class, so I'm a little reluctant to give her a lot of praise because I don't know what kind of city councilwoman she is. So I'm gonna let the people of Tupelo, Mississippi, fill me in on that. But I want to get you guys caught up on a story that pertained to Miss Davis, because Miss Davis, they was trying to get Miss Davis caught up on some bullshit when it came to the 2020 election. And I want us to look at the story. Of course, my laptop has died. Let me come back and credit the news organization. But this package that we're about to watch is from 2020. And the news is that there has been a resolution to this story where this Tupelo City Councilwoman, this black woman, this black elder, was charged with a misdemeanor as it pertained to some alleged election day misconduct. So I want us to check out the story. Let's take a look.
Tupelo City Councilwoman Nettie Davis, along with local Democratic chairperson Charles Penson, were in the Lee County Justice Center earlier today before Circuit Judge John White. Now, Judge did not ask either one to say much this morning, but both had a lot to say after the hearing was over.
I have helped a lot of people in this community, include John Wetter when he ran for district attorney.
Both Tupelo Councilwoman Nettie Davis and Reverend Charles Penson were indicted by a Lee County grand jury of going onto Facebook and to ask for money and prizes to raffle off as a way to encourage people to vote in the Tupelo city election this past June. The charge is a misdemeanor, but it could possibly cost the city of Tupelo councilwoman a seat on the city council.
The statute provides as a penalty the loss of office, so that's why the case is so crucially important to Ms. Davis. To Mr. Penson, it's important just as a matter of his philosophy, and he's worked all his life to try to encourage people to vote.
Councilwoman Nettie Davis said her personal history of voting rights activism speaks for itself.
And I've just really been involved in civil rights since a young age, and I have given support to this community in trying to get people voted, because I feel like voting is the key way to move forward in the community.
The local Democratic chairman said nothing illegal took place back in June.
When we found that there was such a law and we could conceivably be in violation of it, we shut our operations down. No money changed hands, and so we look forward to our day in court.
Now the two will be back in court right here at the same place on January 24th, 2022, before the circuit judge. In Tupelo, Wayne Herford, WTVA 9 News.
Man, I gotta say, I love those deep Delta accents. I mean, the most endearing people. The fried chicken is slapping. That sweet potato pie slapping. I don't even like greens. The greens are slapping. at all those people's houses, okay? The white folks' house too. The dinner is on point tonight, okay? Homemade cornbread. Biscuits from scratch. You niggas are not ready. Anyway, well, pop up that Mississippi Today article for me. So as you see, okay, maybe Councilwoman Davis should not have told people if they bring the I voted sticker, they get entered into a cash raffle. Now, I don't see how in big 2020 you don't know that. But I mean, I'm sure it wasn't no Powerball raffle. You know what I'm saying? Like, if there was some money being raffled off for your I voted sticker, I'm sure it was bill money. You know what I'm saying? It was light bill money. It was not no whatever the fuck Trump working with kind of money. So there has been a resolution to this. Okay, a resolution. So Tupelo City Councilwoman that they reached a plea deal with prosecutors, and this just got resolved here come Monday, where the Tupelo City Councilwoman Nettie Davis on Monday reached an agreement with local prosecutors and a state judge to plead guilty to a misdemeanor count of violating an election law, but she will avoid the penalty of being permanently removed from office. So listen to this. So senior circuit judge John Paul, oh no, I'm sorry, Paul Funderburk. He signed the agreement, which is a non-adjudication agreement. Again, this is a misdemeanor count for Miss Davis to plead guilty. She is fined, I believe, $5,000, with 4,500 of that being suspended. She will not have to vacate her office, which is good news. But there was a lot of criticism floating around Mississippi, as you guys can imagine, of a double standard application of the law. Because in that same state, there was a white woman Republican who had also been accused, I believe, in the same election, the 2020 election, of some sort of low level misconduct, but misconduct nonetheless. And the prosecutors and everybody in the community looking like, well, if you don't ran these charges on Miss Nettie, what's up with Councilwoman Karen? How come Karen? Where's Karen's misdemeanor? And y'all know where Karen's misdemeanor is. That shit is not to be found. But my question is very clearly. Oh, hold on. Let me give you guys a couple of more details about what Tupelo City Councilwoman Nettie Davis was accused of, because it says that her criminal case stemmed from comments that she posted on Facebook, okay, in a 2021 Get Out the Vote rally, that in where she encouraged people to vote in the municipal election in her is that say yes, and so she recorded comments where she encourages people to come. If voters brought back an I voted sticker, then their name would be entered into a raffle rather, for cash prizes. Okay, you're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to exchange anything of material value for people's vote. But the interesting thing about this is that the video did not record Miss Davis advocating for any specific candidate or a particular political party. It just said, if you voted, come on down and we'll put you in the raffle. But also, something that needs to be noted here is that the raffle actually never even took place. Okay? The raffle never took place. No money was ever given away. And yet, John Weedle, who is the Northeast Mississippi District Attorney, alleged that Miss Davis's comments violated a law that prohibits anyone offering any sort of prize, cash award, or other items of value raised in exchange for a vote. Did I mention that Miss Nettie Davis, never advocated for a candidate, not for a party? The raffle never took place, no money exchanged hands, and yet she was charged with a misdemeanor, and now she has pled guilty. And maybe I don't expect Cop Mala or the Biden administration to really pay a lot of attention to what's going on in the Tupelo, Mississippi City Council. I guess they figure Mississippi is red. Mississippi is irretrievably Republican and GOP. But There's a lot of black people in Mississippi just for it to be shunned, for it to be turned away, right? For it to be completely ignored, for there not to be any sort of political party from the Democrats, that is, because I'm certain that there is and there are third parties, more radical parties, right? Doing organizing on the ground in Mississippi. We don't have to look far for Mississippi activism. But it's wild. I just find it, again, I'm not surprised. I'm not befuddled. I just, just shake my head worthy. Like why are we, not we, fuck that. Why are they, Democrats, so willing and so easily conceding swaths of reliable constituents? They don't even go in there and fight for black Mississippians, for black Alabamians, for black Louisianans, for black and white progressive working class West Virginians, Kentuckians, Tennesseans. Like, my God, like, this is the South we talking about here, right? Was it this morning on the Remix Morning Show, Jackie Lukman interviewing the People's Forum, Claudia de la Cruz. Claudia was giving the people them an education, like, all that all that communism of the 30s and 40s, that was black led. And a lot of those worker led communist movements came out of the South. Okay? Don't tell me these people down here are not ready to rock and roll, man. But the Democrats are not willing to fight. And that is why the Democrats remain unworthy of everything that we have to offer them. Our vote, our support, everything. I don't want to hear, so what are we doing? Letting Trump win? well, since you asked, listen, you can take that down, Will. If Trump wins, then this is then the faster America falls, right? So let's go, Brandon. Well, who's Brandon? Wait, Brandon is Biden. If Trump wins, then America falls faster, right? So that means we just got to get prepared a little quicker. But if Biden wins, then this whole thing gets prolonged a little bit longer, right? Because Joe Biden is going to do what he can to prevent or at least slow walk the crumble, the inevitable decline of this country. But on the flip side, if Biden does win, maybe the Trumpers will be ready to pull America down way quicker. So I feel as though we who abhor the system in general, but politically, especially this specific two-party system, really there are no losers. Like, we win, right? In a way, we just got to be ready for what comes after, right? But the notion that the Democrats are pouring very little into voting, into taking the issue of voter suppression and the denial of the black vote specifically, the fact that they don't take this very seriously, that they send Kamala on a black show where she can say Rev and do her best sister girl, whatever the fuck she thinks she does, without giving anything substantive. Like, fuck, even, I mean, it's one thing to not have any policy, which is significant and not something that to be ignored. But for her to very flippantly just gloss over the history of voting in this country for black people, the struggle, the sanctioned murder, exploitation of black people who attempted to have their voices heard in terms of voting. And to be clear, y'all, I've already expressed to you guys numerous times, like, I vote out of ancestral guilt. I don't vote because I think voting does anything. I vote because the ancestors literally laid their lives down. Like, to me, voting is it is one of the least things that I can do to express a bit of homage to the sacrifice that was made for it. Now, whether or not should the ancestors have laid down their lives to vote to even participate in this system, I'm sorry, I'm not here to judge them. But if I can show up and push some buttons on a computer screen to either make the elders feel better or to assuage the ancestors, I can do that. That doesn't take anything from me to do that. But I don't believe that it does anything. I don't think that it further moves us towards any sense of liberation, however you define liberation for yourself. But please don't, and please, the only reason I'm bringing up Kamala in this respect when it comes to voting is that I want you to point it out to the liberals and to the Democrats in your world, because I know you probably still roll with some, because old habits are hard to break. We black people, we got jumped into the Democrats. It's hard for a lot of us to break out, right? But just point it out. Like, these people don't even care whether or not you got access to the ballot box. They don't even care whether or not you're going to be able to vote come next November, right? They don't care whether or not women or pregnant people have the ability to get abortion care services. Like, these are not fights that the Democrats are seriously having on a policy level. If they were, they themselves would be trying to organize in red states to do that. But no, it is usually citizen-led organizations, specifically talking about abortion, women-led organizations who are doing the work to make sure that women in their states who need these services can still have access to them. Is the Biden administration doing that? No. No, they're not. Deeply, deeply unserious political games are afoot, everybody. And do not be surprised. I won't be, if Donald Trump is elected president and convicted simultaneously of a lot of these crimes. I guess some of this he might have to be convicted before he gets elected. Yeah. So we'll see how that works. But the Democrats are not the winning ticket, unfortunately. And not saying the Republicans are either. But when it comes to Black folks making sure that our agenda and our immediate needs and demands are being met, the Democrats are not the ones that are going to be the ones to fulfill it. We are either going to have to take over the Democratic Party, which I kind of disagree with, because I don't think you can out principle that level of corruption. Like, that corruption is going to stick its fangs so deep in you. Whatever convictions or principles you thought you might have had, if you don't believe me, where the fuck is Cory Bush these days? You feel me? like any convictions or principles you thought you had, no, them niggas are here to disavow you of that shit. Them niggas being Democrats. There's that. Let me take a break here, y'all. I actually might take I might take the show, because I don't feel great. I mean, I don't feel terrible, but I don't think I'm up to doing this for another 30 minutes. But what I wanted to do was, is this my paper? I wanted to shout out the people that had supported us for our fundraiser. And okay, yes, this wait, it's upside down. Ha 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 ha. First of all, Derek L, thank you so much for your double donation. We certainly appreciate that. Thank you so much going out to Courtney, to Rosalba, to Quaker Anarchist. Wait, is that from recent? Is this an old list? That is an old list. I'm sorry. Hold on. What did I just do with the list? I literally just wrote. Hold on. I think it felt okay. Yes. This looks right. At least I think it does. Oh, yes. Okay, here we go. So thank you so much to Madeline for your Venmo. Thank you so much to Cynthia Rose. Appreciate that. Who else? Thank you to Ellen R. Thank you to Mama Lorraine and Anna Hart. Thank you guys for a wonderful discussion, obviously, this past Saturday for the Around the Fire Disability Support Chat. I appreciate that so much. Patricia, is it Patricia or Patricia? Either way, thank you so much for your assistance. We appreciate that infinite content. Thank you so much. Like I said, Derek L. blessed us 2 times. And in terms of our patrons, let me get that up for you guys real quick. I really appreciate all the support. What we do is fundraise thrice a year. Yes, I said thrice, because I was nice at English and language arts. Thrice a year, we do fundraising, and that's it. So any support that you're able to give to the channel, keep in mind we are all independent black woman led media. So that means we are poll. That means we are poll. So in order for us to keep our shit on, we need some support. So thank you to Miss Liz for your support. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to Kamari for your Patreon support. Somebody just ran us something else, but thank you, Infinite. Thank you for that. Is that everybody? Yeah, those are our new patrons. So thank you guys. I just want to thank you all for everything that you do. But I think my head's hurting a little bit, so I think I'm gonna go on and sign off. Is there anything else I had to say? Oh, I will announce something else. I don't want to talk about it right now. My head hurts. So anyway, gang, thank you. And my stupid computer died, so I don't even know what's going on in the chat because everything's a madness. Is the new moon tonight? Perhaps that's why things are a bit in disarray. But fret not. And I'm out of salt. I can't even take a proper salt bath to cleanse my aura and shit. Ain't this a bitch? So anyway, I'm gone. I'm out of here. I will see y'all back here Friday for the Friday edition. Burn It Down with Kim Brown, Quaker Anarchist, and so Quaker Socialist. Thank you so much. Quaker said that she only knows it's Tuesday when it's time for Burn It Down with Kim Brown. And Quaker, I so appreciate that, and everybody that sends love and support to the program. Tune in tomorrow morning to Black Power Media for the Remix Morning Show, starting bright and early at 8 a.m. Eastern. Oh, good show. It was a great show this morning. If you happened to miss today's Remix Morning Show, go back and check it out with Jared, Jackie, Kamal, Lucretia, Doctor, and a wonderful, really, really stirring interview with Claudia de la Cruz from the People's Forum. I suggest you guys go check that out. All right. On behalf of Will and Male, I will see y'all Friday. See y'all later. Bye bye. Bye bye.